I think if my time at Urban Rider has taught me anything about the protective clothing that I wear, it's that there are many different ways to skin a cat, and ALPINESTARS kind of encapsulate that for me. They have things that you can wear as armoured underlayers. They have standalone jackets that have the abrasion resistance and the armour that you need, or they have airbags even. And they've got some stuff that bridges the gap between different genres, and this is an example of that. So this is the Troop Air. You're probably familiar with similar items to this, but the fundamentals are that it has huge mesh panels across it, and you can see the amount of perforation and breathability that it offers. It's ridiculously lightweight, thin, discreet as well, which means that you can either wear it by itself, because it is CE rated at level A, or you can stick it underneath other items very easily. I think the CE rating gives an indication as to how lightweight this is, if you're wondering, because there's a few different options that we've had in the past. There are some thicker than others, they have higher CE ratings, and there's no real way around it. If you want it to have a higher CE rating, it is going to be thicker feeling. But if you want something to just sort of zip around, something easy to put on that is about as lightweight as you're ever going to find whilst still giving you abrasion resistance, then this could be a great option. For me personally, I prefer to wear something this lightweight underneath other things. And the biggest benefit to that is where it holds the armour. It's very comfortable, so having the armour that fits that snug to you makes the armour more comfortable and something that you don't notice quite as much because it's not kind of in your way. But crucially, it's also better for protection because it keeps it where it needs to be if you were to ever need it in the event of a crash. Now the sample we have here is a size medium, and you can see on the mannequin he is illustrating just how flexible this is, because that is not his size normally, but it does fit him reasonably well because it has that amount of stretch in it. The biggest thing here is the stretch panels under your arms, so your armpits, your ribs. That allows a greater range of flexibility because there are areas that are tougher and I guess less forgiving as far as stretch goes because they need to be, but then you can compensate by having stretchier panels in the areas where you know they are less exposed. This is also the size that I tried on. I'm a 38-inch chest, medium generally is my size, and I would say this definitely is accurate and comfortable. The outer composition is comprised predominantly of polyester, nylon with a bit of elastane in there, and you can see extra reinforced panels on key impact areas like your elbows and your shoulders, where it is tougher again than the breathability, but in those areas you don't need quite as much breathability, so it is tough in those areas. A really big mesh panel to the back there as well, an elasticated hem around your waist and your wrists, and it has got thumb loops so you can stick your thumbs through there. I prefer this method of it because if you don't want them, and normally I don't want them, they're less intrusive there than something that kind of dangles out. You may have seen things like that in the past. This is much more discreet and neatly hidden. The other side of the coin for safety is of course the armour that you choose to use, and with ALPINESTARS, with their race pedigree, I would expect it to be good. And it is. It's level 1, it is very flexible as you can see. It has holes in it so that it has breathability, so at least you can get some airflow through there. And it's the coverage actually that I quite appreciate from this, more on the back side of your shoulder, because normally with the shoulder armour, I find with a lot of my jackets, it seems to sort of sit more on the front and the side, and sometimes feels like it's neglecting the back part of your shoulder, whereas this one actually does go quite far around your shoulder, so coverage is good, and that is obviously key, as we're told more and more these days. There is also back armour available if you want to buy that separately, and on the inside at the front, they have a Velcro section so that you can get chest armour, and that brings me back to the point of this being a really good option if you want to maximise your impact protection and the placement of your armour, because you can get a chest plate and stick it in there as well. This is another one of those clothing categories that just keeps expanding year on year, and you've got loads and loads of choice now. So if you want to do some comparisons for yourself, then you can find links to our website in the description, and I'll see you soon.